Yo, Mario! Engineering Surveying, DE 5205, Session 6, Topography 1. Hello, welcome. Well, unfortunately, I can't be with you in class today, so I've got this online introduction to your class for Topography 1. I think I have prepared you for the fact that I'm not going to be there, so you will be aware of that. So yeah, let's give a bit of an introduction to the topic based on me not being there. So let's obviously go across to Moodle, and we're looking here at session 6. So before you come to class, you should have perhaps reviewed the session resources, and there's quite a lot of them there, which I will go through in due course, and reviewed the fieldwork from last session and prepared questions on any aspects. Now, obviously I'm not going to be there to take your questions, so you could email those questions to me and I can try and prepare an answer for them. So we'll see how that goes. So so let's just take a drop back to session 5, and you'll see there that I have put some field notes in from that session, and the GPS data in CSV form and HTML form, and there's a bit of a video there explaining what happened during that session, where essentially we measured to the new marks that we'd placed in the session before with the GPS and the digital level. So yeah, that's a bit of a wrap up there. Back to session 6, and session 6, topographical survey 1, or topographical 1. So this is where we start to get down to the details of picking up all of what we call the features. And I've got a number of little resources here in preparation for other things. First of all, I found this video just recently about doing a topo for a spec house. It's well worth a watch. It's part of a playlist, a developing playlist of videos on building a spec house, but has a number of civil engineering aspects to it. It's quite well and clearly presented, so well worth a watch at different times. I've also included the survey instrument manuals as coming up. We want to look at being able to do a free station with the Trimble M3. So I've put those in there for you to look at. Also, some notes on feature coding and contouring, together with some examples. Now, and then some examples of control plans, because we will be drawing a control plan, and an example of a topographical survey that I did down by the Ferrybank Lounge in Hamilton for the architectural students to do some designs on. Now, we'll also, I've asked you as a task to start looking at creating a feature code library. Now, the feature codes are very important, as hopefully you're aware that with the topographical survey we will go through and pick up such features like the edge of the pond, the bottom of the stockpile, the edge of roads, curb and channel, and that sort of thing. And each of those things form a feature, and each of those features have a code. So like you'll be familiar with BOB, bottom of bank, TOB, top of bank. And by having particular codes and numbers associated with them, we are able to code the information as we put it into the data recorder, so that when we download it and we load it directly into our topographical or our survey software, the software interprets those codes and draws lines between like codes and puts them in different layers, makes them different colors, will associate symbols with some codes and not others. So we set up our feature code library in such a way that when we record our marks, we download them directly into our software, in this case 12D, that essentially it interprets that and draws up a plan that we need to then just do some slight adjustments to, and then we can draw our topographical plan quite easily. So effectively with feature codes, we are drawing the plan in the field. Drawing the plan in the field by coding the various, each point we collect, and telling the software to essentially join the dots, putting symbols on the dots and making them appropriate colors. So let's just have a look at the session notes here, and here they are here by way of PowerPoint, just coming up now, taking a little time to load. Hopefully it won't take too much of the resources, so you might see my sync between my picture and the sound go out. I'm having a few problems with that, so we'll just have to see how that goes and see if we can solve that problem on another day. So slideshow from the beginning, and let's just got to pop over here and cut that out of the picture, and here's our slideshow here now. Sorry, no, I've got to do that again. Slideshow from the beginning, yes, like so, and then drop that down so I can see what's happening. So here we go, slideshow topography 1, I've called it. Okay, there's me. So the activity, class will be available for you, but I will not be there. So don't worry about your attendance not being recorded. I've taken care of that. The intro is obviously by way of this video, and the weekly tasks and that are recorded in the Moodle. And so it will be for the second part of the course on the Friday afternoon. Okay, so hopefully after today's session you'll have a bit of an awareness of topographical surveys through your reading of the resources and review of the resources, an awareness of feature codes, and perhaps have started to create a feature code library or made a start on that. And this survey brief has been a bit of an ongoing thing. Perhaps we need to sort of start some get some working on that as well. All right, so yes, get your diary up to date. Obviously today probably won't have any field work associated with it, but certainly what you've done and perhaps some discussions and plans that you've made. Worksheets, this would be a good opportunity to catch up on a few worksheets, and if you have got any questions with any of them, put them in an email, send them to me. I'll try and sort them out as best I can whilst on the road. So the Zealandia Project, well, the main thing that you'll want to be doing there is just to be getting organised with the feature code library and readiness for using that when next we're out in the field, tidying up a few bits and pieces. You could identify the levelling marks in the levelling, try and correlate the levelling marks with the actual names of the new marks in the project. That would be a task that would be worthwhile doing. So in terms of thing, you should be review last week's field works, certainly have a look at that, work on the feature code library, complete worksheets from previous sessions, and we've got test 1 coming up, not in possibly in session 8. I will be back for session 7, but I'd like to do a little bit of preparation for the test in session 8. So, but you could start looking up some of the old test papers, trying to anticipate what's in it and prepare some sort of study program for that. And before next week, when I will be back in session 7, review the session 7 resources, which at the time of recording this video are not up totally, so I will be working on that at some point to have more resources in there ready for you in session 7. And again, this project brief, perhaps rough out a draft or put some ideas together on that. So let's get back to Moodle, which I think we've done there. Got rid of that there and rid of that. And here we are back in the ubiquitous Moodle. So as you see, there's the video there. Survey instrument manuals, again, that's looking a little bit into the future. So, you know, have a look through those, familiarise yourself with them. Something on feature coding, a little bit on contouring, some control plan and a topographical plan there, and the feature code library there with using the notes there and a particular format to use here where we put down the code, the type of thing, the layer or model that it's to go to, color, and a bit of a description there. So that needs to that forms sort of a weekly task. Going back from there back to Moodle. So pretty much I think that's probably enough just to keep you going and give you a bit of a heads up. There's plenty to do there, particularly in the area of reviewing the resources and just getting prepped up for the next outing into the field, and also for let's not forget the tests. Now, if we go to assessment here, we talk about tests. Now I have put the tests somewhere. Perhaps it's here in the worksheets, maybe. Just checking. Oh yes, there they are there. So test 1 2016 is there, and as you'll notice, there's the 2017 test will be on similar lines, largely some whole circle bearings, a traverse closure and a height closure, just covering off the basic reduction aspects of a control or topographical survey. So I think that's probably enough. It's time to wind up. So hopefully you can all cope without me being there. And if there's any questions, put it in an email to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Cheers! See you!